And Hazel Jackson, long-term friend of the Business Breakfast, is in the studio to talk about that deal. Morning, Hazel.
Good morning, Richard.
Mabruk, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's only taken you 32 years to build and sell this
company.
company.
I'm slow. But what a journey. A lifetime's work, somebody said to me, and then I suddenly realised, yes, it is.
So, okay, for people who are new to Dubai, tell us the Biz Group story. Give us the quick version of the Biz Group story, setting it up and how we got here.
I came in 92. I had £500 into my wealth at that time, and I started a training company. I was very lucky. I met Obaid Al-Taya. He owned the Gulf News. I persuaded him I could train his telesales classified people, and that was the start, and then I built it from there. We're now 60 people, and we're super excited about the next 30 years.
Okay, so you've been bought by the Knowledge Group in Abu Dhabi. That's part of NEMA, the education group. How did that deal come about?
Well, we started to reach out. Actually, I had a conversation with Deloitte about a year ago, and I said, I think now's the time for me to start looking. I really didn't know how this process worked. They've been absolutely amazing in helping us through the journey. And one of the things we were really keen on was not just finding an investor, but finding somebody that had the same values and understood our business. So I was asking rather a lot, I was told, and maybe I was a little naive to begin with in expecting that, but it was one of our demands. Yes, we'd like to be bought at the right value, but we want to have company with the right values. And I'm super delighted to say that Knowledge Group Consulting and NEMA Holding have both. So we've lucked out there.
Well, let's talk about the value. You've sold your company. Got to ask you. How much?
Can't tell you.
Oh.
I know. I knew you were going to ask that question, and I'm sorry I can't tell you. But I think it's exciting. They have been a really fair organisation in buying us. So it's a multiple of EBITDA. I also can't share that number with you either. But it's they bought 51% of the company now. They'll buy another 25 at the end of this year, and then 24 at the end of 2026.
So how long are you sticking around for? As the founder and figurehead of Biz Group, typically these kind of things have some kind of earn-out or
100%.
handcuffs.
So I'm not going anywhere for the next 18 months, 2 years as CEO. And then I'm on the board now, and I will remain on the board beyond there. And also I have some of my pet projects that I like to do as a consultant in Biz Group, and I'll continue to do those. I just will no longer be the majority shareholder, and I'll no longer be the CEO.
You're right. So you're now an employee, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. Day number 1 yesterday, I was suited and booted accordingly.
Quite right, too. How's the new boss, Dr. Ali Saeed bin Hamal Al-Daheri, chairman of NEMA Education, the parent company?
Dr. Ali is lovely. He is a really great entrepreneur, which sings to my heart, and he's been amazing, offering a lot of encouragement and also confidence to the rest of the team. That everybody, they've acquired Biz Group, Richard, as an entity. We're not merging with Knowledge Group Consulting. We're remaining Biz Group. Our culture is intact. Our team is intact. Our service levels are intact.
Have you still got the slide in your office?
We've still got the slide
City?
in the office. They haven't actually removed that. They basically bought us because of the culture and because of the client base that we have. And so they don't want to mess with that. And we continue. What we now are able to offer, though, is additional resources and services that we get from the parent company to our existing client base.
So in terms of Synergies, what are they? You're all in the training and knowledge space, fine, I get that, but you've all got your own niches as well. I think of you as being more corporate training, sales, leadership, that kind of thing.
100%.
How does that dovetail with what they do?
Knowledge Group Consulting are great in the government sector, so in military, in Abu Dhabi government. They also have a lot of the consulting side of the business as well as training. We don't have any consulting. They don't have any team building. They don't have any learning technology in the same way that we do with Exonify. And so the synergies are great for us to be able to support some of their contracts, but they also have great certification programs, business school content, and NEMA Holding has Abu Dhabi University. And so we now start to be able to have a look at, do we need to put some more serious content into some of our learning journeys? So real match made in heaven for me, because their core values are the same.
Okay. How's the business doing? The training business. Let's take a step back here in the UAE at the moment. You've been in this business 3 decades now. You've been through, famines and feasts. Where do we stand now?
9/11, been through the financial crisis and COVID. And yeah, the learning business, future workforce development, I think is what we need to be calling it now. If you think about that, you think about going to say the AI word, which I know maybe will roll eyes, but that's changing the way the workforce operates. And so reskilling, upskilling, changing people's roles, getting people ready, all of those things are at the forefront. And so we find whether we're doing leadership training for flexibility, critical thinking, or agility, or we're actually now doing a lot of training on how do you get ready for AI in the workforce, and how do you get employee engagement when everybody's feeling like these changes are really kind of like maybe a little bit anxious or people are nervous about what's happening. So it's going very well. Businesses, I think 23, we had a 54% increase in our revenues. So we bounced out of COVID really, really well. And that's the growth trajectory that Nima Holding and Knowledge Group Consulting are going to help us with.
So you're growing?
We're growing.
Okay. Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Saudi. Yes, we're growing in Saudi, but Saudi's much slower than we would like it to be. Knowledge Group Consulting are also in Saudi, and so we're going to kind of like consolidate our resources or pool our resources to try and figure out how we both really tackle that monumental opportunity in Saudi.
But it's not a kind of a shooting fish in a barrel honeypot, Saudi Arabia.
Everybody thinks you open in Saudi and then that's it, your revenue is going to triple. And quite right, they have their own nuances. You can't just apply what you did in the UAE into Saudi, but you can bring some of the experience and the strength and the ideas. So I think it's an adaptation into Saudi. And, Knowledge Group Consulting have a lot more Arabic background than we do. I mean, we've done pretty well in the Middle East region up until now, being run by a rather large group of expats. And so we're going to leverage a lot of their skills there. But they're a great organization, and I'm very excited about what we can do in Saudi.
Finally, what's the long-term plan for Hazel Jackson?
Hazel Jackson is going to keep a foothold in Dubai. As you know, Keith, my husband and I have a place in Cape Town, and we have a love of sailing in the Mediterranean. So let's do the three. We keep the time zones reasonably even. And Hazel will continue to do a little bit of work. I don't think I can switch off completely just yet in the next 3-4 years, but it's time for retirement. I'm getting close to that 6-0.
I can't imagine you retiring. Whatever you're doing in 10 years' time, it's not going to be having your feet up doing nothing. I cannot see you doing that. Hazel, it's great news. Congratulations. 32 years.
I know. And one of the jokes I said was, people say, oh, you're letting go of your baby. I said, no, it's now a grown-up. They've been living at home for too long and we've got married.
Good stuff. Hazel Jackson is the founder of Biz Group, which has been bought by the Knowledge Group in Abu Dhabi. Appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us this morning.